I'm Dr. Tamar Chansky, and today we're talking about how to help your teen get ready for college emotionally and practically. You may have a teenager who is about to head off for school, or you may have a teenager who's earlier in the process. All good, no matter what. There's time to work on these ideas. We're going to frame our conversation today in terms of things to stop doing for your teen to help them to leave room for them to learn how to do some more things for themselves, doing that in a very planful, gentle way, which I'll explain in a minute, and also ideas to start doing to encourage specific skills and growth for your teen before they head to school. So a lot of times for parents, the stretch of time before their teenager heads off to college is a bittersweet time. There's that cherishing of those last weeks or months, with your family in the constellation that it is now. And with that cherishing, sometimes parents are reluctant to make demands on their teen because they don't want to rock the boat. They want to end on a good note. And, that's all good, but I'm going to urge you to think about within that vision and wish for that time that it's not mutually exclusive asking your teen to do things. They may, and they often will grumble about your requests, but really having your teen be more involved in what's going on at home, how things work. I'll talk in a second about the details of that, but that engagement is going to give them the confidence really that they can do things away from you. You are the coach to teach them. The opportunity is right there. It's going to be harder for them to learn, kind of scramble to learn how to get groceries, do laundry, things like that when they're away from you. Having some coaching sessions with those, sort of a preview for those skills, will give them more confidence going in. So think about how actually asking your teen to do things is helping them succeed. They may not think of it that way, but maybe they will actually in the end. Often after the fact, kids do appreciate the things that we ask them to do that in the beginning do not feel so great. So let's start with the idea of just catch yourself when you're doing for your teen. You're folding their laundry or doing their laundry, putting their laundry away, cleaning up their dishes, things like that, your radar is going to be set in these next stretch of time on, okay, let me not overfunction, because if you can underfunction slightly, that allows your teen to step in and learn. So rather than doing for, think about the teaching moment and make sure that your teen knows how to do laundry, knows how to do some basic shopping for groceries or toiletries, big item for teens. How does all of that work? In line with that, you could think about not being the cash machine of just kind of handing out money to your teen, if that's what you're doing, and help them to learn how to budget. Even if you have just a couple of weeks left before your teen goes to school, that you can set a budget together and have them learn to, buy their snacks or their, toiletries, things like that. And they can see what happens with money. It's very helpful. Again, better to learn that, when they're at home and you can still help them than just suddenly having to be faced with all of those lessons when they are coping with so many other things and other inputs with the start of school. I'm going to say, and and I don't mean this in a judgmental way, but don't tiptoe around your teen's moodiness or grumpiness. A lot of times parents do that, and we don't want things to be worse, and we think, I'll rather walk on eggshells than deal with a very unhappy kid. The thing is that, especially in this window of time, expect that there will be that grumpiness and moodiness, because probably under the surface what your teen is feeling is fear. They're afraid about whether they can do this. They may have any numbers of fears about, are they really ready? Are they going to make friends? Are they going to be too homesick? Are they going to do well? Do they make the right decision about school? Those kinds of things. So all those ideas are swirling in their mind, and what it looks like on the outside is that they're irritable, because that's what doubt and fear can do. When we feel that stress, our fuse is shorter and we're not as flexible. So if you're seeing that, try to see through it and normalize it. Let them know that it's it's a stressful time, that a lot of times what's going on is just, people are nervous and afraid about how things are going to go, and that's normal, and let's talk about it. So this is an opportunity. Now we'll talk about the things to start doing. If you're not tiptoeing around those moody moments, what you're going to start doing is normalizing that fear and worry and talking to them about it, and teaching kids that a coping strategy, or an empowerment strategy really, for dealing with fear is not to run away from it and try to distract away from it, but to really open the door and see what's there. What are the things that they're thinking about how school is going to go? Have them list those fears, and then have them fact check each one, kind of go through and ask themselves, is that what you think is most likely to happen? Is there something else that you think is more likely to happen? Are there things that you can do to prevent the feared situation from happening? It will be very helpful for them to have that tool going in, that they have a way of shrinking their fear down to really, to see if there's anything there that they need to deal with. A lot of times fear is just fear, and labeling it and being able to say, okay, I understand why I'm feeling this way, because they're unknowns, but I can feel that fear, and I don't have to, it doesn't have to stop me from doing the things that I want to do and need to do. So normalizing fear and worry. And along those lines for teenagers, it's really, there's so much pressure. They have jumped through so many hoops by the time they are going to college, that they may be fearful about how they're going, and understandably, how they're going to manage all the different things that they want to do, that they have to do. Perfectionism is rampant, and they may be going in with very rigid expectations about how they have to perform. And so it's a good time to talk to your teen about balance, and about, that the goal in school is to grow and improve, and it's not about every single grade. That's just not going to be realistic for them. The number of kids who are just burning out and really, needing to leave school is on the rise, or dealing with school with an anxiety disorder is very much on the rise. And so helping kids to be more realistic, which does not mean being slouches. We're not talking about lowering their standards, but just lowering the stakes in their mind about, if a grade is not, what they hoped for, that does not mean that all the dominoes fall from there. It doesn't mean that, they've reset now to being a mediocre student. It's the isolated event of that grade. So that's an important, talking about balance and kind of realistic expectation setting, very important. for helping your student to be resilient and have a sustainable way of succeeding in school. Finally, talking about what we call in the field distress tolerance. You get a grade that you're unhappy with, you are rejected by a friend or a partner, your professor is not happy with the work that you've done. So many bad decisions are made by all of us, but by college students when they're feeling upset. They can be impulsive. They just feel like that feeling feels so bad they have to get it off of them, distract themselves from it. And so helping your teen identify healthier strategies for managing disappointment, perceived failure, rejection is going to be really important, whether that is making sure that they, have plenty of physical outlets, yoga, exercise, just walking up and down the hall, going outside, just not feeling stuck in the four walls of whatever feeling they are experiencing, and understanding that, talking to them about a time when they were feeling really bad and then what happened with that feeling the next day, they just didn't feel that way anymore. So important to have a personal way of understanding the idea that feelings are temporary, whether it's they think of waves that come and go or clouds that go through the sky, that we all can feel intense feelings in the heat of the moment, and those feelings fade. So we don't want to make decisions based on that biased, distorted, heat of the moment kind of reaction. So that is part of what is going to be very helpful to give your child really a sense of power in the face of the ups and downs of life. Things don't have to go perfectly. It's not possible, but if they know that they have a way of managing the ups and downs, they're going to feel much more confident going in. So between that and knowing how to do laundry, that's going to give them a really good foundation for these next 4 years and beyond. So as always, thanks for listening. More ideas on my website, tamarchansky.com, and here's to less worry all around.